Hugo told him. How fucking stupid are you? Waldo asked. Hugo had had enough. Yo, I'm stupid. What the is wrong with you? You know what? Fuck you, Waldo. And another thing, your mother and stepfather is moving to Spain in 2 years. Hugo hung up the phone, pissed. Waldo slammed down the phone, pissed. He didn't want Ia near his mom. She was his mom. He went back to his cell and laid on his bunk. She had no right to be around such luxury. She didn't deserve it. Yo, Cortez, can't stay here. You're supposed to be in laundry. Officer Brown instructed. Officer Brown escorted Waldo to the laundry room and asked inmate Winston to fill in the details for Cortez. Waldo mumbled under his breath, but proceeded to fold bed sheets with Winston. So, Cortez, what you in for? He asked. He was older, the friendly type. Rape, Waldo spurted out, without a care in the world. Waldo's confession attracted the attention of 2 other inmates who were also doing laundry. Oh, Winston answered. I just don't like working in silence. If these walls could talk, you know? He added. Yeah, they say shut the fuck up. Winston shook his head and began singing to himself. Yo, Cortez, come over here. It was the cellmate Adams and the one the cell block called Fangs. Waldo shook his head and kept folding. He didn't really like his cellmate. He was creepy. Yeah, so what you in for? Waldo engaged, trying to let Adams know he wasn't interested. Murder. Vehicular homicide. It really was an accident, though, Winston replied. You come on down a mother, her 2 kids, and their dog in broad daylight, pitch drunk, an accident. Adams and Fangs laughed. Winston shook his head and smiled, trying to keep his spirits up. How long you been in? Waldo asked. 8 years so far. 15 years to go, Winston answered. And you? Winston asked. 7. 7 years, Waldo answered. Oh, you married? You got someone waiting for you when you get out? Winston asked. Waldo blew his breath and turned his head, his heart suddenly pulsating like a beacon. I did, but not anymore, Waldo answered. I know what you mean. My wife left me for my brother. Winston stopped folding to wipe the sweat from his forehead. I'm not too fond of these overhead lights. The fire pits. Let's stand by the vents. They're a little cooler. Waldo helped Winston push the 4 laundry carts over by the vents. The breeze was instant and refreshing. I see you're acquainted with Adams and Fangs, Winston added. Yeah, he's my cellmate, Waldo answered. Oh, damn, Winston blurted out. How long? He asked Waldo. About a week now, Waldo answered. Winston grabbed Waldo by the arm and pulled him close. You watch your fucking self. You hear me? Don't let those 2 corner you. You keep somebody with you at all times. I'm surprised no one's told you about them, Winston warned. Nobody knows me. I've been here a year and done spent about 11 of those months in lockdown, Waldo told him. Yeah, well, just heed what I'm telling you. You watch your back. Waldo shook his head and kept folding clothes. So what did you do after your wife left you? Waldo asked, seemingly unaffected by Winston's warning. Winston adjusted his glasses and cleared his throat. I went to a bar down the street from my house. There I consumed 10 beers and about six shots of tequila. Then I got behind the wheel of my car, and now I'm here, Winston admitted. You killed 3 people and you only got 22 years? Waldo asked. Winston began sweating. There are other factors I'm not discussing. Waldo interrupted him. I get it. You cry insanity because your wife left you, and all of a sudden you're not as guilty. Want to know something? I tried that. I told the judge that my girlfriend of 13 years and I got into a very violent fight, and I wasn't in my right mind. I cried. I was drunk and high when I rolled over on that girl who was passed out drunk laying next to me. Nah, I wasn't crazy when I did what I did. I was cruel and ignorant. The fuck they know about me? They didn't even give me a chance to explain. That fucking judge gave me 7 years for what? Or because that father was a defense attorney? I didn't have a chance to. Never mind. Waldo shut his mouth. Officer Brown walked over toward him. Then he walked away. If you need to talk to someone, some of the inmates and I hope open prayers in the library Wednesday nights at 6 after dinner. It's open if you want to come. What am I supposed to do there? Confess? Waldo relaxed against one of the dryers. There's always someone older for someone younger. Believe me when I tell you this. Everything that you're becoming, everything that you are is already the foundation of a completed life. And just like that, when you're completed, someone's younger going to come right up under you, making the same mistakes you did, and you're going to be their foundation to build on. I tell you something I've learned, something I see. You've committed this crime, but you're just not a criminal. It's not in you to point to the point where you belong here and have nowhere else to go. Let me say that again. I'll tell you something I've learned, something I see. You've committed this crime, but you're not a criminal. It's not in you to a point where you just belong here and you have nowhere else to go. I suspect you're dealing with forces that are defeating you. I'm not trying to tell you your life. I'm just telling you that there is an open prayer meeting on Wednesday at 6 p.m. after dinner in the library. Waldo continued to fold bed sheets, taking in everything Winston said and adding little things of his own to it. I'm not a criminal, nah, but I'm not good, though. I got something going on in me. It's violent. It's like a gorilla, and when it get going, I'm just like a rag doll in its hand. I might not be a rapist, but what if next time I kill somebody or rob somebody, then I'm back here as somebody else for another crime? You know what, Winston? I think it's a better idea that I keep this gorilla to myself. Waldo finished folding the last bed sheet, then headed back to his bunk, escorted by Officer Brown. And that is the end of chapter 9. And we are at 36 minutes. And I'm going to try to get in all of chapter 10. Or as much as chapter 10 as I can. Hugo parked his car, then went into Julio's to buy Duchess. He grabbed a bottle of water and Skittles, then went to the counter. On the counter was a bill of sale for the store. ¿Cómo está, Julio? Hugo asked him. You selling the store? Julio smiled from ear to ear. Yeah, I'm going back home to Puerto Rico, he answered. Wow, Hugo replied. Yeah. Ever since year 1, I've been trying to sell the store, and I finally did. Hugo didn't quite understand. Year 1? Won what? Hugo asked. She won, this. Julio pulled off one of the $5 Win for Life tickets and showed him. Yeah, it's been a little over a year now, maybe a year and a half. A lot of people came here with a check for me and everything. Ian made me a very, very happy man. Julio smiled to himself, then slid the unpurchased ticket back into the lotto dispenser. It started to make sense. The car, Ian's clothes, her hair and shoes. She looked so healthy and happy. No wonder she didn't call Waldo back. She probably thought he'd take her money, beat her. Hugo got back in his car, completely blown away. He smiled to himself, then drove away. So, Ian thinks she can win the lotto and run. Hugo drove over to his girlfriend's house. He sat in the driveway, bewildered. He stared across the street at Lisa's house. He decided to do a little snooping and jogged across the street. He rang the doorbell a couple of times, but nobody answered. There were no cars in the driveway, so Hugo figured nobody was home. Halfway across the street, Hugo heard somebody call his name. He turned around. Hugo. Yo, Hugo, is that you? Hugo walked back over and looked a little closer. It was an old friend from high school. It was Jason. Jason, yo, what's up? Hugo hugged him and they both smiled. I didn't know you lived here. Hugo said, yeah, all my life. How are you? Jason asked, squinting his eyes from the sun. I'm good. How are you, though? It's been forever, he said. I'm good, too. Just visiting my girl at her mom's. The sun was beaming down hard, and Hugo fanned himself to keep cool. Hey, yo, come on in out the heat. Jason invited him in. Just for a sec. Hugo thanked him. Hugo looked around at the pictures on the wall. He also saw a picture of Ia and Amila on the table next to a lamp. Yo, you know Ia? Hugo asked. Oh, yeah. She's good friends with my mom, Jason explained. Oh, that's cool, Hugo answered. You wanted something? Jason asked him. Oh, nah, I was looking for someone. I saw Ia here before, like a week ago. So, Hugo explained. Oh, well, yeah. Ia comes down to see my mom with the baby. Had they been friends for a while? Hugo asked. Maybe a year and a half. Why? Jason asked. Nah, I had heard something about Ia winning the lottery. She didn't say anything to me about it. Jason cut him off. Remember what his mom told him about keeping Ia's money a secret? For real? Nah, I haven't heard anything about that. Jason scratched his neck and sat down on the sofa. Hugo sensed that Jason wasn't telling him everything and decided to dig a little deeper. Yo, I'm about to go take a ride. You want to come? He asked. All right, hold on. Jason ran through a door and down a flight of stairs into a basement. A few minutes later, he came back in with a different set of clothes. They both got in Hugo's car and pulled off. Do you mind if I smoke? Hugo asked him. Nah, go right ahead. I'm good, Jason answered. Hugo got on the highway, lit the blunt, and cracked the window. So, how have you been over the years? Hugo asked. Jason seemed worried. I've been home from rehab for a little while now, Jason said. Oh, shit. Hugo almost threw his blunt out the window. Nah, it's cool, it's cool. I was into hard shit. Heroin, cocaine, meth. I couldn't get into marijuana much. Tried it, but I just didn't like it. Yo, oh shit. You was still crazy. Jason and Hugo laughed. What's worse than that is the celibacy. Oh, I don't know anything about that, yo. Hugo laughed. Well, what do you know about? Tension began building between Jason and Hugo. Jason didn't feel comfortable. The smell of the weed smoke made him nauseous. Where we going, he asked. Just around town, Hugo answered. Well, I need to get home. My dad is waiting for me, Jason told him, making sure he made eye contact. Hugo brought Jason home. Hugo could tell something was wrong. He called Jason from the window before he went inside. I didn't mean to offend you. I was trying to find out some info about Ia, Hugo said. Jason just nodded his head. Well, I don't know anything about Ia except she's a good person with a beautiful baby. Jason went in the house and closed the door. Jason went down into the basement and turned the TV on. He couldn't clear his mind, and he wondered what would make Hugo ask him about Ia. How would he even know? Why would he care? Jason called his mom. Yes, Jason. I have a fear right now. Let me call you back, Lisa told him. Not even 30 seconds after he hung up the phone, his friend Alonzo called. Yeah, what's going on? Jason asked. Bullshit. Babysitting. Grown-ass man changing diapers. That bullshit. Jason laughed. You get what you asked for. Jason laughed. Again. Alonzo sucked his teeth. Yeah, I almost forgot. What you doing tomorrow? Alonzo asked. Shit, Jason answered. The old crew was getting back together for a cookout down in Japan at Bobby's Shorty's crib. I know you up for it. Mad girl's gonna be there. I know you ready. Alonzo hummed like he was waiting for Jason to explode. Sounds cool. I'll think about it, Jason answered. Jason hung up the phone, excited both excited and anxious. On the inside, he fried. Old friends, good times, but anxious feelings brought remorse and regret. Drugs cost him everything, including his college baseball career. Jason looked through his clothes. He needed something fresh. Everything he had was about 3 years old. He looked through his wallet. He only had a $100 bill left from the $200 his father gave him for his birthday. He took it and ran out the house toward the mall. He stood at the bus stop, sweating in all the heat. The bus came. He got on and headed to the mall. His brown hair slicking to his scalp like plaster. He gained over 30 pounds at rehab. His slim figure a little bulky under his basketball shorts and red t-shirt. His Nikes were worn out, and he needed a new pair. He got to the mall planning. He needed a complete outfit for $90 at least. He ran into Abercrombie and Fitch looking for shorts. He found 2 pair he liked. Both were cargo shorts, khaki and red color. They were $35. When the floor associate wasn't looking, Jason hid the shorts behind a row of women's summer dresses. He ran to Foot Action and found a pair of all-white high-top Air Force Ones on sale for $45. He bought those without hesitation and a pack of socks on sale for $3. He only had $45 left. He really needed to budget. He went into Macy's to the men's section and looked through clearance. He didn't see anything at first, but at the back of the rack behind a buttoned-up blue shirt was a pair of blue jean shorts. They had the light fade on the legs that he liked, and they were one size too large. They were on sale for $12. Jason looked closer. The original price was $45. Why were they only $12? Then he found it. On top of the jeans, one of the belt loops was ripped and hung over. Jason laughed and grabbed the shorts. He found several t-shirts that looked good with the shorts. He bought 2, one for $7, the other for $5. He spent $28 with tax and left the store happy with himself. He still had $15. When he got home, he laid the clothes over the couch, planning his look. He decided on a gray and white shirt. It was the better-looking shirt. Jason went into the bathroom and looked at himself. He didn't need a haircut, but he did need a shave. He ironed his outfit and hung them on coat hangers on a shelf near the washer and dryer. He sat down on the couch thinking of what his father said. He needed a job, steady income. He'd been to more than 30 interviews over the past 6 months, and only 2 called back for a second interview. One was a custodial job at Stanford Hospital, the other a cashier at Burger King, his favorite restaurant. He already knew which job was the better job, but the thought of being around sick and injured people all the time depressed him. It paid well and came with benefits after 3 months, which his parents praised him about, but that interview wouldn't be for another week and a half. The air conditioning felt good on his skin, and he fell asleep on a sofa watching Transformers on Stars in Demand. Well, there's 15 seconds left. And that was the end of chapter 10, I believe. And Yeah, that was the end of chapter 10. I'll start chapter 11 later. Bye.